This video is going to show you solo Grandmaster Nightfall, getting platinum rank and showing you how to farm the inverted Spire this week, which the Hot-Aid Adept rocket launcher is dropping. So if you haven't got a good roll on it, this week is your time to get it, because this Nightfall's an easy clear, team and solo. This is going to be a solo run, obviously, with the exotic heavy Anarchy, which was notorious for being very good solo wise, just in general, really good in the game. Not as good in the game, but still a good weapon. I just wanted to show it off in this Grandmaster because a cute arc burn is on. The fun thing about that is you can play around with Anarchy like before it got nerfed, because a cute arc burn's like a 25% bonus. I think the nerf was 30% to bosses, right? Not to mages, so it's still doing the same thing it always did to champs, but I think it was 30%. I'm not gonna look in the patch notes and find out what that was because it's such a long time ago. I think it's 30%, but what I'm trying to say is, if in arc acute GMs, you can use Anarchy what it used to be like, damage-wise, because that arc burn's a buff. It's cancelling out the old nerf to Anarchy is what I'm trying to say. So it's actually fun. And I feel as though a lot of people have Anarchy, because it's just a case of you just need to farm up the materials for it. You can get spoils now. Anyone can get spoils solo-wise. You just get the chests each week. I know it's a long haul that way. Or just raid. You know, there's still a lot of people raid nowadays. So you just get the spoils, you get the mats, you buy it from the tower. That's it. I'm going to do a skip here, which if you don't know how to do that, you need to be on the button with that with your Sparrow. Going right over there so that the snipers don't have time to get you. If you leave it, if you hesitate at all, you can't do the skip like that. Not on this class anyways. You'll get sniped out of the air and probably die to it. Resistance wise, we're using double arc resist because it's a cute arc burn. Always double up on resist generally for the GMs. So this first room is pretty simple to do with. Obviously everything's from a range. I've obviously covered inverted Spire to death, just because it's an old Nightfall. We've been playing it a long time, so you know I have done a lot of comment runs on it. So if you've watched stuff that I've done in the past on this particular GM, I'm going to repeat a lot of things that I've already said about it, as there's not much else I can really tell you about it. What I would suggest though is take this barrier first. You can take him from up here because obviously it's barrier pulse season, especially with this pulse I'm using. You can easily break the shield. I'm going to let Anarchy do the work a lot. I'm going to try and showcase Anarchy as much as possible. That's the whole idea of these vids. Is if I put the idea of the vid in the title, that means the video is focused on what's in the title. So just pay attention to that. So you know, if I've put Solo Grandmaster with Arc Strider, then Arc Strider is the showcase of the video. These videos aren't designed for the easiest clears always, right? Sometimes they are, like I'll go that route. Sometimes I just want to showcase either a subclass or a weapon that I feel as though isn't getting covered a lot. Because there's still people confused on why I do certain things, and that's always a good thing. If I'm confusing people sometimes, that's a good thing because it's telling me that I'm doing things that other people aren't posting up. Not that they can't do, it's just that they're not posting them up, certain styles of runs. Some people play the direction of the game, which has been told to me, and I know that, and I do. You know, just because I don't post up all the meta stuff doesn't mean I don't play with the meta, right? These videos that I make, it's only a portion of my game time. I'm not posting every single thing I do in the game, right? It's stuff I do off video that I do, you know, off my own back that I don't make videos on. I just make the videos on that I feel as though can get some interest and spark some conversation about it, because that's what it's all about, really. So I'm not always conventional. I'm a little unconventional at times, but that's always been a thing that I've always done. Nothing new. I guess there's just a lot of new people about. With these Minotaurs, take them from range if you can. Obviously, try and use, if you're using a scout, which I recommend Voucher, that'll melt these Minotaurs. If they chase you like this though, kind of stop it, I guess. Depends how close you're standing towards this area. But this Minotaur's adamant of chasing me, so we'll use a bit of Anarchy, jump over his head. Anarchy will take down the Minotaur no problem once the shield's taken out. Now we use a bit of Anarchy on this champ. I'll just do the one. Anarchy maxes out at 2 shots. I guess most people know that, but if you don't, then it maxes out. So there's not much point to refreshing the buff, the damage straight away. Once so much time's elapsed, then do another 2 shots to refresh the damage tick rate, right? Sometimes I'll do, like, I used to use obviously Anarchy back in the day when it was the prime setup for solo wise. And there's different techniques you can do with Anarchy to help it to be better, because there is a major downside with it. If you shoot your weapon at a champ, you will blow up the Anarchy trap on the champ and you won't get the tick rate anymore. So there's different ways and means of doing it, where you can do a shot on the floor and a shot on the body of the champ, and then that'll chain together, as opposed to doing 2 Anarchy traps on the champ, because the champ has a small hitbox, right? So you do your 2 Anarchy traps on the champ, then you start shooting with your weapon, which naturally that's what you want to be doing to get more damage in. But then you lose it. So try and let Anarchy do the work if you're going to be doing Anarchy runs. Explosive style weapons suffer from it as well, exploding the Anarchy traps. We'll deal with this unstartable. Any ammo, whatever loadout you're running, you know, pick up your ammo and proceed. You just spend that extra 10 seconds to look about. It'll help out the whole idea of the run, the whole, you know, consistency wise. Don't just rush through. If you want to do a really optimized run, it would be Storm Chaser, it would be Arbalest, and then a Scout Rifle, or Storm Chaser double primary, or Storm Chaser Outbreak Perfected. I've obviously done that. So there's lots of options out there. All right. We're going to damage this champ a little bit, then do the Thundercrash. Just it ensures the one shot on the champion, as Thundercrash does 90% HP to the champ. So if you damage them a little bit, then T-crash them, it just it means they're definitely going to die. We'll stun that ad there, and then death from above past the enemies. Don't want to face them really. I'm full on ammo, so I'm good. Really simple here. Just 1 void shield, 2 barriers, and unstoppable. The easier way of doing it, if you haven't got a super, I mean, I could have used a Thundercrash on this, but leave the unstoppable alive. The unstoppable can't chase where I am now, because I'm on this cliff area thing, this little raised platform, whatever you want to call it. So the unstoppable doesn't know where I am, so the unstoppable will fight the champs. The champs are preoccupied with that. You can just do damage easy to these barriers. One of them's a sniper and one of them isn't. So try to take the one that's a sniper first, because it progressively gets easier as you go. Once that first sniper's down, it's easy. You're free to sort of do your damage. So again, let's take advantage of these champs fighting each other. Anarchy wasn't stuck there, it was on the ground, so it wasn't doing the damage it was meant to. It's doing good damage, it is, because obviously Anarchy's still amazing on champs because it hasn't been changed. What was changed was the ammo reserves and the damage to bosses. It's still the same, it's still a very good weapon on champs. But we've got so many good weapons nowadays as opposed to what we used to have, where there's no requirement to run Anarchy. Like there was. There used to be a bit more of a requirement to run it. Now we've got other things, you know. The sandbox is a bit more healthier than what it was. That's why Anarchy was so good, because there was nothing else. Ariana's Vow, that's it. Ariana's Vow, Anarchy, that's your choice. There was no Arbalest then. There was Arbalest, but there was no barrier in it. So that's another reason why you don't see much Anarchy style runs. With the battlefield part, people are bugging out the checkpoint. Everyone's doing it. What you just need to check, the first champ I killed at the top of the cliff area, you need to approach the battlefield CP. You wait for the checkpoint to update, don't go too quick. Pay attention to that. A lot of people are getting confused and bugging this Nightfall out. That's what you do with it. So what I'm going to do, see, notice my super bar, I'm 80%, 90%. I'm going to kill this champ first to gain super off him, energy. Then I'll go down below and super one of the arc shields, because there's 2 arc shields, obviously. And all we have on arc is obviously our heavy and grenade. So I'm going to spend wisely a super on one of the majors. So Anarchy's doing good work for us, so is the pulse. We've took out the barrier. None of the other ads need to be taken out. Unless you're struggling for ammo, but you shouldn't really be struggling on ammo. You should be fine, as long as you got your ammo finders and stuff like that. We've supered that ultra. Now I want to go over the other side. I recommend you take out the snipers as well. I was wanting to keep charge of light here. That's why I didn't. I would have lost charge of light, because obviously once you kill your next enemy, charge of light goes. You lose a stack for every enemy that you kill. So there's an art to keeping high energy fire, right? Having it on and off and stuff. And this is where your ability kills come in. If you get an ability kill, you keep your damage bonus from your weapon. Anarchy there just melted that ultra. That's great. We'll kill that sound, because that sound will shoot us in the back. I don't want that as I'm going across this little area here. Pick up our elemental world. Maintain charge of light, which is good. I want to skip here, so I'm going to shoot the 2 barrels. The solar shields, I do want to skip them, but unfortunately what happens here is this solar shield spots me. Once an enemy spots you, they're aggroed on you for such amount of time, right? So I just wanted to sort of deal with this solar shield and run past. You don't have to do this, but I'm also showcasing adaptive munitions off as well. Get hit there with bad movement, 2 shots, so you've got to be careful of these. If this enemy hadn't seen us initially, I would have skipped him. But see, the danger is there's one on the right side, and if both of them hit us, you can see we can nearly die off that. So I didn't want to. I just wanted to get this run first go, as I was strapped for time today. So I saw that as a little bit of a risk, so I just took out that Centurion. But I'm not going to take any more out. This one does see us. I'll go round. Notice, very careful. Activate the switch behind cover. Equip Glaive before you go through the porter, and then stun your champ. Revitalize and Blast did not proc for me. You can see I've obviously got that mod on. It just didn't proc. It was unfortunate. This is where you hide if you're not one cycling your champ. Obviously you could T-crash this Unstoppable. It wouldn't be a bad one. Get a stop and you clear out all the ads. But obviously I'd used it on the ultras anyways, so nothing's a problem on this. This can be done in any way you can imagine, this GM. So it's really up to your fancy how you want to do it and when you're spending a super and when you're not. Because that's the thing with Inverted Spire. It's a very easy run. It's probably a little bit too easy for my liking. I think they could do a better job of balancing all the Grandmasters a little bit better, and maybe get some playtesting done. I'm sure that they do, but we need better playtesting, balancing all the Grandmasters a little bit better. Like some of them are tuned too difficult, and some of them are tuned underwhelmingly easy. So maybe they could balance out the easier GMs by putting far more champions. That might alienate some people though, because of how champions are dealt with. That's a whole other issue entirely. I do believe if we could deal with champions easier and all the mods were available to us all the time, at least for primaries at the very least. So Barrier Pulse is a staple. Overload Bow is a staple every season. You're gonna get that. They could do it like that. All primaries have those mods available to you, but the kicker is seasonal. They incorporate a heavy with a champ mod, and they rotate that season upon season. So one season it could be barrier machine gun, then unstoppable grenade launcher, and then go like that. But I think all primaries, pulse, hand cannon, sidearm, SMG should have all champ mods available to them at any point. That's your bread and butter. It's your primary weapon. That's what I think. That's how I think it should go for now, until they do some more tuning for champs, which we're due it. We're due some tuning, but I haven't seen any discussion of that from them, Bungie, saying about we're going to change how they work or how we deal with them. They're unwilling to talk about it. I've found that to be the case. Although there's a lot of hot topic about it since Witch Queen came out, because obviously we've been fighting the Guardians, the Hive Guardians, and people have enjoyed fighting them. I will say one thing about that though. The Hive Guardians are good, very good, but they're not as good as you think, because we've only fought them in one GM. You cannot review Hive Guardians off just one GM, which was Lightblade. You've only fought them on one GM. You fought them in the Legendary campaign, but that's actually quite easy compared to GMs. Like, it's not that easy. People did struggle with it, but I want to see more Hive Guardians in other GMs to sort of see how, you know, a more diverse look at them, and are they really tuned properly, you know? So what with this section, I just spent my super just to speed it up. I'm gonna just glaive these void shields. I'm not even going to take the snipers out. Make sure you do. I was too lazy to even do that really with this run. I was just wanting to skip past, which you can do. Just be always on the move. These snipers won't hit you as long as you're on the move. Spend your melee ability there to skip them, and you can do everything from down here. The reward is though, if you do take the snipers out, you can actually deal with some of these ads up top. If you want to take that approach, you can. There's no yes or no to this. It's whatever you fancy. With Inverted Spire. The only time when really Inverted Spire requires a little bit of attention is the boss. And it depends on how you want to do it. If you really do want to melt him down and stuff, then you've got to pay attention to what you do in your ammo usage and stuff like that. Anarchy's really good at the boss. It really surprised me on how good it was, because as I said, it's a cute burn and stuff. So it's basically what our old Anarchy was in this particular gameplay. We're going to let Revitalize and Blast do a lot of the work for us. Then we'll do a bit of melee with the Glaive. We'll get a finisher kill on that champ notice because we've kept Charge of Light. Always keep an eye when I'm playing these GMs and stuff. Keep an eye if I've got Charge of Light or not. And it'll make sense why I'm maybe finishing ads or killing them with grenades as opposed to with my weapon. It means I'm wanting to keep high energy fire for the next section, which is, look, a champ. Perfect. So we can maintain barrier... the 20% damage bonus while clearing this barrier, which this barrier is probably the most difficult one in the entire thing in my opinion, which is why you want to spend heavy. I wouldn't recommend just playing around with this champ just using primary. I mean, Revitalize and Blast will do your work. It's the problem is that the turbine thing. If that turbine comes at the wrong time like it did there a little bit, you can lose a lot of ammo because of it. So I highly recommend you take this barrier down as quickly as you can. Don't mess around. Don't play around with it. Oh, up on this cliffside is a really good place to deal with this barrier. You can see that, how easy it is. Champ's basically one shot. We'll clear out the champ. Pay attention to your heavy bricks that you're getting. Now, if you're running a Storm Chaser run, it the same deal. Pay attention to that. You can then start to think about up ahead with the barriers, because you've got double vex barriers now. Can you spend some heavy? That's what you need to be thinking about right now. Can you? Well, if you've got max ammo and a brick on the floor, go ham on that first barrier, because you've got double barrier. Go ham on the first one. Spend a bit of heavy, you know, and then on the last barrier you can afford to just use your primary, because then you've isolated the champs, because obviously you've took one out. Now notice there's another brick there, so I've already thought in my mind I'm going to use a bit of Anarchy here. Because it's like a little puzzle, if you like. Your idea is to get through the encounter smoothly enough so that you still get the encounter done and have enough ammo to pick up after it's done, so that when you go to the boss fight, you have max ammo for that as well. Not that you do with Anarchy, because Anarchy's ammo goes really, really far. But say you were running Storm Chaser or whatever, and you got 10 shots, and you get no bricks on the floor, what do? Do you spend ammo on the double vex barrier or not? And these are the questions that players are asking themselves all the time. It's questions like that. And it's all about ammo efficiency. And there's a lot of people that are really poor on that particular subject, ammo efficiency. And that's what it comes down to. That's one of your key things in solo plays. Be good with your ammo. Don't spam it. Anyone can spam heavy and be good. But what about when you run out of that? And that's where you'll see some solo play and it's like, you've just spammed all your ammo. Why? It might be a speedrun, that's a different category altogether. But say if it's just maybe a casual solo player, I'm watching the run, they're soloing it, they're spamming all the ammo, and then you have troubles with some other champs coming up. And they're like, oh, I'm having so much problems, I hate Grandmasters. Well, no, it's because of you. You didn't play right. You didn't play it as you should have done. And that's some people. And it's just a case of they just don't know. It's a case of that, or they're not sure how much ammo you get per brick and stuff like that. A bit of forward planning. It's a bit of common sense. That's all it is, really. So we're on to the boss. We've got Charge of Light. We're gonna. It doesn't matter that I've got Charge of Light now, actually, because I'm gonna get some more because I've got Shield Break Charge on, and there's gonna be Arc Harpy shields. So we'll farm their shields for Charge of Light. We'll get another stack. Let the platforms spawn in. Sometimes they don't. Let the harpies wake up. Make sure everything's reloaded. If you're doing a Storm Chaser star run, same deal. Make sure everything's reloaded. We're going to use our Death from Above ability. I can't tell you what it's called in this game. That's what it's called in D1. Whatever it's called, use that. Takes out all the harpies. We've still got Charge of Light. That's our bonus. So what I'm going to do for this is 2 Anarchy shots, a grenade. Pulse grenades do massive damage. Bit of glaive. Then our super. That will then get us beyond the third, nearly half. So that's really handy. He's immune now. This boss has a hard damage gate after so long. Right? Then on second phase, he will be immune for 3 seconds, and then he'll be damageable. So don't do damage right away on play 2. Also find a pillar to stand on. A short pillar. There's long pillars and short ones. It's the short ones because you can crouch over them like that. You can duck and fire. We're going to do a bit of Anarchy. Then Glaive with the shield. Right? Because the boss can't hit me because I'm shielding and firing at the same time. So I'm dealing damage and getting protection because Glaives are just insane. I could make a video just about them and talk about how good they are. Literally one of the best weapons in the game, and people still are sleeping on glaives. It's because there's no mods for them. There's Unstoppable Glaive, but there's not the suppression glaive. People were really using glaives, and when they sort of changed how it worked, people stopped using them. But really, they are really good. Look at that. So we got another Charge of Light. We're going to get the boss to a 3rd HP. Do not break the boss's head off yet. Notice super bar's 40%. We need full super, a bit of Anarchy, not much. We don't need that much Anarchy. Probably 3 shots, 2 shots is what we need for final phase. Because we're going to do some skipping. We'll use this enemy wave right here for super energy. That's all it's for. Because the boss is like a 3rd HP. So we can do a 3rd HP with 2 Anarchy shots and a super. So I've already calculated that. I'm aware. I just need to do this last wave of enemies. There's 2 Arc Harpies. There's an enemy to the right. I don't know what happened to him. Because I didn't kill him. He must have partied to mid. But I was unsure because I didn't want to get ambushed by a goblin to my right. He must have hid. We're going to use a bit of glaive here. Just showing off again with the shield. Just look how good it is. And you get so much energy as well with glaives. Like you can spam that shield protection so much. And that's what's so good about them. They don't have the massive damage that other energy weapons do, but it's a really diverse weapon. And its melee damage it does is really good as well, and that costs no ammo at all. You know. We're just going to clear these Arc Harpies first. We're trying to maintain Charge of Light as much as possible. But here's the thing, when the ads are depleted, say 90%, when there's only 10% enemies left on this particular wave, they hide. Right, when there's less enemies, they get scared, right? They're not threatened by you so much. So, we're going to actually break a head off a goblin. I'm sure you know what happens to that. When you do that, it changes the AI of the enemy and he comes to you, which is fantastic. Means I don't need to go in that arc pool. I get Charge of Light because I got a weapon kill after a barricade. And I've maintained Charge of Light. It's great. No more enemies. It's just me and the boss. I'm waiting on super. So obviously I'm going to use my super and Anarchy. But watch the boss, because that arc blinding thing that he does can do massive damage to you. So he'll do that every now and then. But whenever he does that, take cover and behind a pillar. We'll just wait on that super. We'll try and get a nade in as well. I think I missed my nade. It's not a big deal though, because as you can see, it just about kills him. So 2 Anarchy shots. We've got our yeah, we miss it. That's unfortunate. Bit of glaive damage. Do another 2 Anarchy shots just to get more tick damage, just so it's just enough. Adds a spawning behind me, not a problem though. Use T-Crash, overshield, and that's the boss dead. That was a run there. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.